on the road. It's 8 a.m. here in sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. We're out here for the 2016 Mr. Olympia contest. And I need to get a workout in quick before we go over to the expo. I'm gonna do some arms today. Tomorrow I'm gonna bang out some chest. Generally when I'm traveling, I like to get my big body parts done earlier in the week. Back and legs. Usually I don't really like doing those on the road. You know, sometimes you're flying, your back gets tight, you might get a little bit dehydrated, maybe your nutrition isn't 100% on point, even though it should be. So for those reasons, I like to stick with what I would consider maybe safer body parts when I'm traveling. Let's go inside, let's get to it. I don't know if you can see in back of me or not, but you know, we're dealing mainly with a lot of free weight stuff here, which is great. There's really not a whole big selection of machines. There's some cables here, but it's predominantly barbells and dumbbells. So just trying to walk through in my head what I'm gonna do for the workout. You know, whereas maybe normally at home I would begin, say, arm training with biceps and doing some, I don't know, say a preacher cable movement, right, to get it warmed up. So we just do like it was done in the beginning, and we do some dumbbell preacher. I mean, the basics, they work. Move on to triceps. I probably will use the cables for that. And then for shoulders, we've always got lateral raises, we've always got upright rows, and we've always got presses in our toolbox. So, you know, we'll just stick to the basics. So let's get started. Of course, again, we're in a gym where the equipment's a little bit limited. There's not a preacher curl. She's an incline bench. And if we didn't have an incline bench, we could always just sit down and, you know, rest our tricep on our inner thigh and do it that way. So there's always a way to get it done. I know a lot of times people do their isolation movements at the end of a workout. You know, whether it's a small muscle group like biceps or a larger muscle group like legs or chest or, you know, even back. Sometimes it's not only safer to, you know, do an isolation movement first and get things warmed up and really get a lot of, you know, feeling in the belly of the muscle. But it's also, in my opinion, very productive, because then when you go on to use a bigger movement, something, you know, that's maybe more compound, you've got a better mind-muscle connection. You're gonna feel the muscle working. So, yeah, there's times where I'll come in and I'll do barbell curls first, but there's also times where I'll come in and do a isolation movement first. It's all you young guys out there watching. Do spend some time warming up. When I was younger, I never did that, and it's a smart thing to do for longevity, you know, because this game isn't just about how hard can I smash this right now. It's about, you know, how long can I continue to do this and keep pounding it day in and day out, week after week, year after year, because that's really where the progress happens. You go and you injure yourself, or you develop some type of, whether it's an acute or chronic injury, you're out of it. So, prevention, health, safety, even though we don't generally think of those things in a hardcore world, they're important. This way, the set's over when you cannot move the dumbbell anymore. You know, when it comes to arm training and people talk about using strict form, you know, strict form is good, but I do believe that as a set progresses and the difference between keeping absolute strict form and putting your body into it a little bit is the difference between an extra, you know, 3 to 4 reps or calling the set quits. I do believe in, you know, loosening up your form a little bit and doing what you've got to do to move the weight, because in the end, 4 extra reps is 4 extra reps. So I've got a good pump in my triceps, and the majority of whatever, you know, tendon pain has kind of subsided because I've got enough blood in there. I'm gonna move on and to some type of free weight movement. So if we're talking free weights, obviously my only choice is either dumbbells or barbells. So I think I'm actually gonna do a dumbbell movement. Probably lying on the bench, coming across my chest, doing one of these single arm, and maybe we'll finish off with a barbell movement. Now that I've got some arm training down, I'm gonna do some shoulder work. This is something I haven't done in a little while, but what I'm thinking is I'm gonna superset some dumbbell side laterals with standing barbell press in the rack. Now I'm gonna do, because I'm standing, the amount of weight that I'm able to use is gonna naturally be limited, largely by, you know, stability in my back and whatnot. So what I'm gonna do is, to decrease the amount of weight that I'm actually able to work with, I'm gonna do some the dumbbell side laterals first to pre-exhaust it. And then I'll move to the standing barbell presses. doing your overhead barbell presses standing, although the amount of weight that you're going to use is likely to be a lot less than what you would use if you were seated, stabilized, etc. Don't worry about it taking away from, you know, basically the impact it's going to have on your shoulders. Because doing this right here, the feeling in my shoulders is a lot different than what I would get if I were doing it seated, even though the weight is a lot less. So don't let your ego, you know, limit you from doing different things that might actually be more beneficial. We'll do some rear, just some rear delts now. Believe it or not, my medial delts and pretty much the bulk of my delt is pretty burnt right now. I'm gonna finish off with some bent over dumbbell laterals just to kind of beat up on my rears. That'll be a perfect little workout.